Hey guys, how's it going? So I got my sunglasses on. I just had an eye exam, so my pupils are dilated. So don't mind the sunglasses. But this is a whole different story. I'm not gonna go over that right now. But I got some stuff to do on the 6.2. So it hasn't started good for a while now. And I ended up picking up a new selector valve for the fuel tank, just a dual tank. It's tricky to work on trucks here now because I've got siding going on, windows are going in, so the driveway is kind of used up. But I've got this selector valve that I think is on, well, I know mine's bad. I don't know if it's leaking, but I know it doesn't select. So got a new one of those, and I've had a truck parked up here on the street. It's been leaking a bunch of fuel out of the fuel lines somewhere going up here. So I think I'm just gonna rip it all out and do all rubber lines from the selector valve back. Here, I'll call in here so you guys can see. So I got spacers made for that back so I can put my other matching tire on. But as you guys can see, this frame's all wet from fuel. Selector valves up there. So there's just fuel everywhere. So I'm just gonna, I've got a little electric pump in here that I put in a while ago. Probably leaking from there too. But I'm gonna keep that going, the little lift pump. And just rip all this out and just start fresh for a little bit. Obviously, like, I've got one thing coming for this truck. I've got a 700 R4 transmission and another 6.2 that I'm gonna rebuild the 6.2. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna decide if I want this truck to stay stock height, if I want to lower it, or if I want to do a four-wheel drive swap and leave it stock height four-wheel drive. I'm not a fan of lifted square bodies, so I'm not gonna lift this thing by any means. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and get some of this fuel line situated, see if it'll run better, just to get me by for now, because the Scout project that's coming up is gonna take up all my time. So I just want this thing kind of working, running, driving, working as it is. And I'm gonna have my body guy for the Scout take a look at the rockers and stuff on this when I bring it up there. All right, so yeah, this thing's definitely on its way out, or actually is out. But yeah, these lines are all dry and cracked. I'm gonna get all new rubber for here. I'm gonna keep all this steel, my finger out right there. Keep all this steel here going back for now, because this is gonna be a frame off at some point. But from here all the way to the motor is gonna be all new rubber line. This thing just sits here and drips, so I think a lot of my issues are gonna be cleared up with this thing coming out. All right, so there's the old one. New one's right here. And I need to get under there and pull the rest of the lines off. I just cut everything because it's so hard to get to. But I'm gonna put these fresh lines on and pop everything back in place. Came out a lot harder than I expected because the mounting bolts, this mounts into the seat channel of the frame. And then I have like an inch between the frame and the cab to get that bolt out. Perfect, so it's in. Obviously it's running good, so I'm gonna let it run for a little bit, get the fuel bled. And then once her car's not blocked in, I'm gonna try switching tanks and stuff and see if it cured that problem. Awesome, so runs pretty decent. I don't know why that fuel gauge is reading so high. Hoping I didn't mess up the float somehow. I mean, I didn't touch that, so, but it just seems too high. But I'm taking it for a quick ride, parking behind the Duramax. I had a little leak under there. That's what I took a short video of there, and I fixed that little leak. Some of the hard line stuff wasn't tightened quite enough. But I'm gonna go park it behind the Duramax so I'm not blocking the driveway, and I'm gonna switch tanks to see if that tank switch still works. It used to just stall out, and I'd have to prime the whole fuel system. It was a huge pain. But yeah, so I'm gonna go over there, and then hopefully I get to let the this thing cool down and try starting it and see if it starts without ether. I doubt it. I think I need injectors or an injection pump. But for all I know, it could have just been air in the system for, I don't know, like 2 years now it's done that. Maybe even more. Just needs ether every time I start it. But yeah, could be head gaskets, could be a lot of things. But that'll be all taken care of when I pull this motor and completely rebuild it. Here we go, here's the test. Switch tank, see what happens. Alright, so we obviously switch tanks. So far it's running. So I officially have 2 working tanks now. The switcher works. Picked up some more of those oak beams for the table I'm building. And I picked up one of these exhaust hanger tools. The LBZ's rear exhaust hanger's been kind of saggy. And I picked up a new V-band clamp because I broke the one putting my downpipe on. And I kind of put it back together, but it's leaking. So I'm gonna try to raise the tip of my exhaust on that because I've never liked how it kind of hangs. I picked up these adjustable hangers on Amazon. I can't say I'm super impressed with the quality. There's no metal band in there, so I don't know how strong these are going to be. But they'll get me by for now. I'm probably going to order something stronger because I cannot stand the idea of my exhaust breaking off on me. So I'm going to put this on. I'm going to kind of loosen up all my connections on that and see if I can get the exhaust to straighten out a little bit. And I think this tool is going to make my life a lot easier. Tight quarters here, but you can see that gap there. I'm just not a huge fan of at all, the way that exhaust hangs. So I'm gonna loosen some of the clamps, see if I can jack up a little bit and tighten everything back down with those new hangers. So that didn't work out as good as I wanted it to. Just snapped it right off. Oh, I should have figured. But I'm gonna try to hook up that. Yeah, replace that cross member sometime. Anyways, I'm gonna replace that hanger and the hanger back there, and hope this will stay together for now. It's still a two-handed job to get us started, but it definitely beats a screwdriver by a long shot. 100% worth the 25 bucks on Amazon. At some point in the channel, when I get everything all set up, this whole undercarriage of this LBZ is getting sandblasted and completely refinished, but I'm kind of going over this exhaust. I've never been happy with how it fit. I think it's MBRP, but it's just not a very stellar fit, because if I straighten or if I tilt this, then my exhaust points downhill again way too much. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. I think for now I'm just gonna kind of rig it up to work, but maybe in the future it'll do an axle dump. I'm not a huge fan of axle dumps, or maybe I'll just buy a full stainless 5-inch exhaust that actually fits. But we'll see. It is a lot better than it was. I would still prefer it to be probably 4 inches higher, but I'll deal with it for now. It's whatever. Cheap exhaust. All right, guys, that's it for this video. I got the fuel tank switch working on the crew cab, the dually. I kind of leveled my exhaust out a little bit on my LBZ and kept it from falling off. And then this right here, I'm gonna be pulling the injector out of. Not gonna make a video on that. I mean, it's the easiest injector to get to. I've got the wheel off so I can actually get in here. It's dark, but the injector's right in there. Be an easy one to get to. Pull that, send it out, and the LBZ, I'll put that V-band clamp on where the exhaust is leaking, but that's not interesting enough for a video. So that's it for this video. Don't mind the mess in the garage. It's all gonna change. You guys will see it soon. But we're gonna hit the ground running with this scout project, so there'll be a lot more videos coming out soon.